So, hey folks, welcome back to Double Take. I am here in Nashville, Tennessee on the Music Row today without my partner, Chris Jenkins. Yet again, he has skipped out on a podcast, but that's completely fine. I'm here with, honestly, my mentor, my very good friend, spiritual leader, incredible person, Brett Manning, and he is also the world's greatest vocal coach, in my opinion. And that's all that matters on this podcast.
You're way too kind, but I receive it.
Yeah, brother. So I want to take. What we're doing is we're starting we're going to get Brett on the podcast. Obviously, that's what we're doing today. But then we're actually going to start doing some online vocal lessons and a little video series to help the singer out. That's kind of like me. That's got plus 40 and been through COVID and even a trained voice that spent. We just mentioned 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
That we've been knowing each other. My oldest son was a 2-year-old, and yours wasn't even here.
Yeah, we're getting old. We ain't buying green bananas anymore.
So anyway, we're gonna do a lot of neat video content over the next year, couple of years, hopefully, get my voice back like I want it to be, and like Brett typically has me doing. And then introduce our world, the Gold City world and the Double Take podcast world to Brett Manning and Singing Success, the world's best-selling vocal instruction program. It's absolutely incredible. I've had the honor to be on a few of those programs in the past. But Brett Manning, my brother.
Well, yes. And my brother over here, what an astounding singer for years. He has blown my mind. I remember letting you listen to a rock mentor of mine, Jimmy Necco from Hours. Yeah. And he's singing these high D's just full out. And you try it. Yeah, I'll try it. And you open up and we're stomping on the floor going, what? You can't.
I'm going, what? What is it?
Yeah. What have I done?
What are we doing?
Do you know what you have done? Do you know what you have done? It's right. It's wrong tone. You can't do that. But to sing that full out of my
Master
D,
impressionist also, Brett Manning.
well, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
All right, moving on.
But he's in there and he's singing in my basement of my house where I had my studio before, and everybody runs in there like, what? They just couldn't believe it. And I don't know if you remember this, but we went into the kitchen outside of the lesson, and we're making tea like we are now. We're getting tea, and you just hear that, "We're in my way," and you just wailed on it. Full out mix, hard mix, but the full out mix sounds like full out chest.
Yeah,
for people who don't know any better, and that's what we want. We sing for the people who don't know any better. People who know better, sometimes they're too critical, or they have learned to think about the voice as some mechanism rather than a piece of art. Sometimes when you study a thing too much, you lose the idea of beauty. I'll give you an example. Look outside and you go, oh, look at that. Grass. Yes, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, non-nutritive fiber, and water. Yes, and creates cellulose, and the sun hits it and creates photosynthesis, so it gives you the green pigmentation. You go, really? Me, it's nice cushy stuff for my tushy to fall on when I'm playing frisbee football with my kids or having a picnic with my wife, and it increases the curbside value of my house, and it lets me know that there's been rain and God has provided for me. That's what it is, and it's brown when it's dry and it's green. I love grass. Grass is great. That's the artistic side of it. So we have had to wrestle through the years between the technical side and the artistic side. If you lose the artistic side, you sound like a scale. You sound just like another pretty voice. I call them tenors in love with the sound of their own voice.
That describes most tenors.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly.
In the gospel music world, and I'm joking, folks. I'm joking.
Kind of. No, it is true, though. I mean, singers, musical theaters, singers, that's all they do is like, who's got the prettiest voice? And it turns out that Crawford was his name, Crawford, the guy from Phantom of the Opera, and that guy. And did also Les Miserables.
It's one of the first people you ever played for me too, by the way.
And he had that, I gave you my music. Yes.
Yeah.
But he had that interesting voice. And I tell people, if you have a choice of being good or being interesting, you're probably going to do better being interesting. Mm-hmm. If you have a choice of either, maybe choose interesting. But if you have the choice, you can also choose both. And you'll be better than both. The person who's technically great singer might be better than the interesting person with his technique. The interesting person might be more engaging than the technical singer. But the person who's both kills it on all levels.
Well, our good buddy Scott Smith is famous for saying, and this is terrible, but Willie Nelson has spent more money on marijuana than Pavarotti's ever made in his lifetime. Which is a stretch, but
Not
that's
too
typical
big, yeah.
Scott Smith.
Yeah.
But Willie Nelson with that very interesting, limited voice that proves yet again the interesting typically wins out.
Yeah. All the girls I've loved before.
So what I want to do today, if we can, because you and I will get off chasing rabbits and squirrels real fast all over the place.
You see more of the forest, you know.
I want to get in. I want our audience to find out who Brett Manning is. So give me a little bit of your background, your raising, your spiritual journey, all if you can.
When people say this is Brett Manning, and I say, you know who I am? Really? Could you please tell me who I am? I don't know who I am. No, I was born in Grants Pass, Oregon, and probably.
Well, see, I didn't know that. I thought it was all Utah.
4 or 5 months old before my mom moved to Sacramento, where she had lived before, and near Sacramento, not Sacramento, sorry, Santa Monica, that area.
Same thing.
And she was managing health spas for Jack LaLanne. Can you believe that?
Wow. See, I didn't know this. I'm finding out
yeah.
something I didn't know.
Before I was born, she was living in Vegas. Wow. So she was pregnant with me in Vegas. So I heard from the womb, inside the womb, the original Frank Sinatra and all those guys that she sang with next to all
Holy
those guys.
smokes,
It's so
man.
cool. Yeah, so I heard music from a very young age. Because, see, first off, a little about me. I was born at a very young age. But anyway, so we moved around. Elton was younger. From there we went back to California, and then when I was like 3, we moved to Utah, and I lived there up until I graduated. And
Is
then
that
right
Park
after
City area? Where was that?
Ogden, Utah.
Ogden.
You know how all animals with 4 legs or 4 arms have this pit? They call that the armpit. It was the armpit. Sorry,
the armpit
Utah.
of Utah.
Sorry, Ogden. But Ogden was the armpit. It's pretty nice.
But there's a lot of very cool in Utah.
Oh yeah, it's just amazing. The mountains, heaven. We lived in North Ogden, and actually Ogden is really improved. Its character, and they've invested in it. Salt Lake City is an incredible city.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time in Salt Lake City after I graduated.
But obviously very heavy Mormon.
Yeah, very heavy Mormon. I was 19 living in Salt Lake City, and 19, 20, around that age. And a friend of mine was showing me some Bible verses. A couple of friends tried to show me stuff in high school. I would roll my eyes, but then I thought, wonder if it's not all true. I couldn't have been deceived. I don't want to be deceived. You know, you get shifty eyed and like, oh no, this couldn't be true. And the ability to lie to yourself is incredible. I had a friend giving me God's Word, Final, Infallible, and Forever, which I have that book sitting out there in case anybody's interested when they come here and they want to know. And we also got More Than a Carpenter and other books to share if anybody wants to. We don't push that on students, but if the conversation comes up, you know.
And it comes up a lot.
Yeah, and after a lesson is when we talk about. We don't talk about that during a lesson. We worry about your voice, and then we worry about your soul too. But this guy's handing those books out at Mormon Temple, and I looked him right in the eyes and lied with a straight face, and I felt good about it. And any real Mormon will tell you that they would do the same thing, because he said, you know, I said, I prayed about the Book of Mormon, and I know it's true because I got a burning in my bosom. That's what they tell you to say. I prayed about it. I know it's true. You read it, it's just like, oh, these stories, and the stories are so compelling, and they told you this is history. So, yeah. And he goes, well, the Bible says that Satan can come as an angel of light. You can be deceived. And I said, well, I prayed about the Bible, and I prayed about the Book of Mormon, and I got the same answer. So if the Book of Mormon is false, then so is the Bible. And he goes, you're lying. I was like, like a vampire with somebody holding up a cross. I was lying.
Yeah,
I was lying, but he had the boldness to tell me. Can you imagine? Just you're lying. I've had people tell me that when I'm starting to feel like I'm exaggerating. I told you a billion times I don't exaggerate.
Literally, I told you a billion
times I don't exaggerate. But the idea of when you grow a conscience before God, you don't have to impress anybody.
Right.
Jordan's in here. He's heard me start tell a story, and I pull back. Let me adjust that a little bit. Let me tighten down the screws a little bit. But up to that point, I was just arrogant, and I thought I'm right, you're wrong, and that's the end of the conversation. There's no conversation to be had. There's conversations I have with Muslims, very many of them right now, tons of them online. And their ideas is they just say, Islam is true whether you like it or not. Or the Quran is the only accurate book. Well, the Quran says the Bible is accurate. Mm-hmm. It says the Injil, which is the New Testament, and the Torah, that you should be the people of the book should read the book and should obey what it says. And then Muhammad is like the next prophet after that. Yeah. But you don't, well, if it's founded on this, well, then these are true. It says it's true, but you say this is more true. But they contradict. So if the one's false, they're all false. If these are false. But if the Bible can be true and that can be false. But what can't be is they're all true.
Right.
And so at that point, you find yourself realizing that the only reason I believe, is because God just sovereignly changed my heart, caused me to love him. Because I shouldn't. I should be like this Muslim kid who grew up in this place and he just heard it all his life. There's no other truth out there to listen to. There's no other opinions. And so for me, growing up as a Mormon, it wasn't until I started reading the Bible. Imagine that. I read the Bible. And I was reading it, and my mom came in, and I'd been reading it in the breakfast. What are you doing? This is just reading. And she knew that I was talking to some friends. Yeah. And look at Deuteronomy 13, 1-5. It says, a prophet or dreamer of dreams rise amongst you and give you a sign of wonder, after which he says, let us follow other gods which you have not known. You must not pay attention to that man. You must put him to death. Ouch. Kill him? Yeah, because he's sent to lead you away from the God of Israel. It's a very serious thing. Treason against God was more serious than treason against a nation. Treason, we have the death penalty for treason here.
We don't use it.
We don't. No. There's a lot of treason going on.
We know what treason is anymore.
But. No. Is there treason? You do what you want, But and clearly we don't kill people for disbelieving. Right. But then in that particular covenant, and then later on, Deuteronomy 18, 20-22 says, how will you know if the prophet, if I sent him? And he says, if the word of which you've spoken comes to pass, then I have sent him. If he does not come to pass, I have not sent him. You should not be afraid of him. And I was like, Joseph Smith's got a bad track record. He keeps missing everything he said. There's men living on the moon, and people say, "Oh, that's a theory." No, he spoke as a prophet. You don't get to change the story. You're trying to make an excuse for somebody saying something. I don't have to make excuses for the 300 prophecies about Jesus that came true. Right. In remarkable detail. You've probably heard about this. The odds of probability of just 20 of them coming through is like you fill the state of Texas 1 foot deep with silver dollars and mark one of them, and there's a chance you have a better chance of wading through blindfolded into Texas, the whole state. It's a huge state, a foot deep, and you reach down and you grab that one coin. So that was just 20. That's just 20, and you go to 300. The odds of probability that somebody fulfills that, it's checkmate. It's I can say respond to them. It's true whether you want it to be or not. Right. The Bible's true. And it just doesn't authenticate itself through science, through odds of probability and prophecy. through the excellence of the actual text itself, the beauty of the text, the necessity of a moral code that we all cling to, that we all need. And without the Bible, you can believe whatever you want. You do whatever you want. So, yeah.
That's right.
You like to kill babies and eat them?
Yeah,
I
that's
get
fine.
it. I get it. You have no standard. And then when they say, no, I'm a moral person, and I like to slap the atheist hands and go, get your own morals. You stop stealing from us.
Yeah.
You are sawing off the branch you're sitting on if you're claiming Christian morals and not claiming Christ. If you want the morals that God affords, but you don't want the God that gives them, you have no foundation.
Well, if you want to live in a
you're rootless.
society that is ruled by those morals,
Yes.
so that you have this nice life that you go around trying to destroy, but you can't have both. You have to pick, and that's something we don't make people do
Yeah, that's true. That's
nowadays.
true.
But you were almost in a state of desperation
Yeah. Oh, yes, I was.
during that. That was a dark time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I lived wild. And a lot of people say, well, that's why you left Mormonism. You couldn't live up to it. I said, you can't live up to it.
Yeah.
You can't live up to it. And I said, the thing is, nobody can live up to God's standard.
No. If we could, there would be no point in Christ coming and giving his life for us. What a thought.
Thank you.
Like he said he did.
Well, like the Muslim friends, they said, I said, how do you get in heaven? By being obedient?
No.
I said, who paid for your sins, though? Well, we repent, but there has to be a price paid. If you go to court, you don't say, well, I was a pretty good guy. I killed some people, stole some cars. I hurt a lot of people too.
But I'm sorry.
But I said I'm sorry. Isn't that good
Yeah.
enough for you? It goes, well, look at all the good stuff I've done. It doesn't make it up for the bad stuff. You're still going to jail. But what about the good stuff? Stop talking.
Yeah.
And so the judgment that I knew that I was facing it hit me so hard. I had caroused. I'd done terrible things. I'd stolen. I'd done stuff that right now I look back and think, that guy died. Literally, he died. And after I got saved, which is, I was listening to Walter Martin, Dr. Walter Martin, Kingdom of the Cults, Maze of Mormonism, at a radio show. They called him the Bible Answer Man. You know, it's taken over by Hank Hanegraaff and some other people after he passed away. And I was listening to his daily radio show, and I'd been going through the Bible, and he's talking to some guy who's Mormon. And a guy calls, says, hey, yeah, I'm Mormon. He goes, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's me. I'm Mormon. And he said, and I've been listening to you for a while. And he goes, oh, you probably don't like me much. He goes, no, I like you a lot. And he goes, and I've been reading the Bible. And he goes, fantastic. What can I do for you? He goes, well, I feel guilty about my sin, and I just don't know what to do now. I don't believe in Mormonism. He goes, well, praise the Lord. He goes, well, what can I do for you? He goes, well, what do I do now? He goes, ask Jesus to come in your heart, and he will. And I went like this. I went, I fell on the floor. God's truth. Before I said, come into my heart, it hit me. I responded with, you drew me.
Submission, yeah.
Yeah.
It was over. You were done.
Drew me,
That's all you
dragged me,
Yeah.
dragged me against my will. No, God doesn't violate your will. He doesn't? He doesn't let me have everything I want. That's violating. You know what my will is? In my flesh is to have everything I want.
Right.
And I don't get that.
It's called human nature.
It's right. He violates our will all the time.
Yeah.
At the same time, he gives us choices. But our wills are bent on evil, and he doesn't even give us those things.
Right.
We even say that, thy will be done. I don't want my will anymore.
Right.
So he changed me in an instant. I've messed up several times since then, just done stupid things. But one thing is, you wake up in the morning and you can't live with yourself if you don't realize his mercy is new every morning. That is one of the most refreshing verses. I told that to a student once. A guy just reached out to me, got a record deal with RCA for a little while. Now he's wants to retool his career after like 8 or 10 years. And he just said, he was in a lesson, and he was like, not really biblically literate, but a Christian, and I believe his profession of faith is genuine. But I told him, I said, yeah, man, just when you mess up, realize his mercy's new. And he goes, where is that? is that in the Bible? I said, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's in a great hymn, too.
Yeah. So, new every morning. He said, you probably go with those. He is all we need. Churches are like all day long, just 700 choruses, seven words about God 100 times instead of 700 words.
My
about
dad
God
used to call it
once.
7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, seven. Well, I don't remember. how
7
he
words
put it,
about
but
God 11 times.
Yeah, 11 times
Yeah.
or whatever.
Matthew Ward says, I'd rather sing, instead of
Matthew
7 words
Ward.
about God 100 times, I'd rather sing 100 words about God 7 times. I like that.
So from there, you started college. And
Started college.
I always joke with you about being a dance major.
Yes. Oh, I was a dance major at the time. Around the same, I actually started college right after I got saved. I was still trying to figure out what I was going to do, but I went
So,
to
hey,
church.
dance.
Yeah, I went to church and I was singing, and I was saying, "We exalt thee." I was doing that one.
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of letting my voice go a little bit, and I'd never done that before. And it's Mormon, you're like, oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the Mormon Tabernacle
like this.
Choir, I mean, it's famous.
Yeah.
So
But when we sing like this. It's really horrible. It's just terrible. So here I'm singing, whoa, I'm just letting it out,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know what I was doing. I had a couple sing lessons here and there, and it helped me, but my throat hurt all the time. When I do lessons, it was open your throat.
So was that like in college?
Before college, like when I was growing up, I took a couple lessons.
Teaching classical.
Well, my mom sang,
Yeah.
and I just listening to her, I intuitively got a lot of things.
Yeah.
Actually, my first time ever singing was when I was 10, listening to Elvis Presley, and I was like, I got the whole record, and I did the voice contest or a talent show in my 6th grade year, and up there saying, put the collar up, and the white T-shirt up,
Yeah.
black leather jacket, and rolled up pants, and you waited on them but a hound dog, and the girls were like, ah! And I was like, oh yeah, there's something to this. Yeah, I like that. I like, okay, well, we can do this all day long. All right, girls
This
like when I
works.
sing, yeah. But then I got moved to Utah, and it was like, or a different area of Utah. I was in northern Utah, Honeyville, Crystal Springs. What's up, Honeyville? Small town, still probably only grown by 10% since then. I'm serious.
Which is nice.
2,500 people or so. But we owned a hot springs called Crystal Hot Springs. It was real cool.
Oh, wow.
And but we moved, and soccer was a cool thing. So I started playing soccer, and they go, you don't sing, do you? That's for sissies.
Yeah.
And then later on, I decided, kind of went sing a little bit, did a couple musicals. But then I was in church singing, and this girl turns around, she's crying. She goes, you have an amazing voice. I'll never know who that person is. Hope to see her in heaven. I always like to say with people like that, if I don't see you later, I'll see you in heaven. If I don't see you in heaven, you're only in it for the money.
There you go.
But this girl, she kicked something off. Just one person. Sometimes one person can
It's
encourage
amazing.
you
I
and
didn't know
change
that.
the whole trajectory of your life.
Wow. And a lot of other people's lives.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So you go to college, dance. You switch to voice at some point. You never switched to actually vocal performance in college.
Nope.
So
Took music theory and all that stuff, sight singing, all that.
then, when did you find out about Seth?
So I'd been studying with a guy who had worked with Seth, and I did some of his exercises that
So
were
tell who Seth is.
kind of right. Well, Seth Riggs was a world-class, a world-renowned master, vocal master.
Yeah.
I guess because he said I am, so I guess I am too. I can't say that about me. Somebody else has to bestow that on you. I have people teaching master class. I'm saying, who made you a master? He goes, well, I did.
They're just teaching a
Well, that's
class
nice.
typically.
Then why don't you just show up to a karate studio and tie on a black belt?
Yeah.
Who made you a black belt? Well, I did.
Yeah,
you
it didn't
can't
work.
you can't do that.
Right.
And so I've made several masters, including Benny, who's upstairs.
Yeah.
Who's a brilliant teacher. Chanel, amazing
Chanel's
teacher.
incredible.
Shelby, she's out on her own, but she's
yeah.
a master. She's very good. Jason's master. He's good. Jesse Nemitz, just spoke with him last week. Master, great teacher. Masters I got here are all pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm pleased with what we have going here. But I worked with this master, Seth Riggs, and it was with the first 15 minutes of my first lesson, I realized that the majority of my previous training was a waste of time and money. And you knew this from your own experience. You're like,
With you.
it just happens so fast. Like,
Yeah.
wow. He's like, here's what it went. He goes, okay, you got to get into your head voice. So let's see what happens. You go, oh, and I whoop, and I
Pulling.
kept pulling up. And he goes, okay, like most people, you're pulling up too hard. You want to go into the hard palate. You want to go behind the stop. I go, oh. And I went, ooh, that's pretty. He goes, then you can keep going. Oh. Then he kept going up higher, and I'm like, how's this old baritone going up there? He's like, old, really old.
He was teaching Michael Jackson, Stevie. I mean, he's West
Everybody.
Coast.
Yeah, he's
speech
West
level
Coast.
singing was his thing.
Yep.
And then you just dug in with him. I mean, you're what you will learn about Brett is that he becomes obsessive. I don't mean that.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, it's true. It's true.
Whatever he does, he becomes obsessive. When we first met, it was basketball. I grew up playing basketball. We'd go to the gym and you'd be like, doggone, you know. But it was funny because he became obsessed with it. When we talked, we would talk voice, and then we'd instantly start talking basketball. Then jiu-jitsu came in, and he obsessed yet again. He'll kill. He doesn't look like he could kill you, but he'll kill you.
Kill you 20, 30 ways. Nicely, though.
And then now it's moved on to score.
Film scores.
Yeah, film scores and things he's doing now, but he becomes very
Chopin.
obsessed. It's a trait that I really admire in him. But you became obsessed with the voice at that time.
Still am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Still trying to figure out my voice.
yeah. And I understand that completely. But you've started with, so eventually you started teaching on your own. You came up with the original Singing Success program that took off.
1998. Yeah, I'd been teaching. So after I had my first lesson with Seth, he said, you know, you're doing very, very well. It'd be great if you, this is 1991. He said, you show some of these techniques to some of your friends. I said, well, actually, there's a girl comes to church. She goes, Amazing Grace. I said, why are you singing that voice? What voice? You talk here, but then you start singing, you go to there. Don't do that. Just talk where you sing. Just go, Amazing Grace. She goes, Amazing Grace. She goes, but that's boring. I said, no, that's your chest voice.
Yeah.
And I did a couple stupid exercises I made up on the spot. I wasn't even doing the exercise I learned because I wouldn't have translated or I didn't have a piano. And I just said, say just ba 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 ba. Just do boring. Amazing Grace. And she goes, Amazing Grace. And she had this vibrato. She goes, where'd that come from?
Never had it before.
Yeah, never used her chest voice. Never used. She thought singing voice over here, speaking voice over here. No, speaking voice, singing voice, crying voice, yelling voice is some other thing. Falsetto, fake singing voice. But I had lessons where open your throat,
Yeah.
push it further forward. I can't push anything further.
It
forward.
doesn't even make sense. You don't.
No,
The brain doesn't know how to accept that.
no.
It's not entirely wrong, but it's you just.
Well, they're talking about a result instead of a
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
And the process is what makes the voice go forward. That's like saying, shoot and make sure the ball goes in the hoop. Thanks for nothing, you
Yeah.
know? And that was the type of advice I'd gotten as a singer. It's like they're telling me the result. Make it, one person goes, open your throat, drop your jaw, take a deep breath. Now project forth she was in a master class in Utah, and she goes, project forth a beautiful sound.
Oh,
Oh, like when she makes her hands shake and she's going out like that. I think she's pretty old too, so I don't know. It might have been Catherine Hepburn, But anyway, so her hands shaking. I said, oh, because I thought you wanted me to go. I said to my friend, I thought she wanted to go. I was like,
yeah. You're.
oh, a beautiful sound.
You also can be very sarcastic. In case they don't.
You think? Like how I did that.
So that started Singing Success. That was, but the thing with Seth, you were already helping others.
Yeah.
That you were learning.
Yeah.
Seth encouraged you to really go down that path.
Yep, became his coach, went back and forth to L.A. and in 1990.
Lost a session one time to Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Sister
That's right.
Act.
Yep. She was in there singing, nothing you can do to take me away from my God. And I thought, God?
Exactly.
That was
She
my
needs
guy.
she needs to revisit that.
The Sister Act. She needs to get her Sister Act. You need to
But-
get your act together, sister.
You flew out because you were flying from Utah to LA to work with him. You flew all the way out, had it all planned, and you got bumped and you just had to go home.
For her, yeah. No, I came back the next day. He said,
Oh, is that what you did? You just stayed over.
He said, what? He goes, oh, no, that's not today, that's tomorrow.
No, you're wrong.
No, it's today. We planned the whole trip. About around you. You got to do this. So anyway, so we came back the next day, and Whoopi was there again, but earlier. And he goes, Whoopi, these are the Mannings. It's nice to meet you. She says, it sounds like a smoker voice, but you can sing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Because the singing voice frees up the speaking voice, and if you have a good speaking voice, that should help free up the singing voice.
And the other side, and I hate to say this, but some of the best singers I've ever known smoked.
Yeah.
There was something about my dad smoked he stopped later in life, but when he stopped, he didn't have the voice that he had before. And I think it had a lot to do with the breathing at that point, because he was one of those guys, he would go
big deep breath.
Well, you just see that cigarette, you'd see it would just go shh, and I'm going, how's he doing that? But and then he would slowly, because he could make you want a cigarette. And I never wanted them. Yeah. I did one time, and that was one time. Yeah, I never wanted it again. But he would slowly release that, and it would make you want a cigarette. Mm-hmm. But slowly, and it would come out of his nose. Air would come out of his nose, a little bit out of his mouth. There was something that they were doing. And then there's whole nicotine factor that they're discovering now.
Nicotinamide is your body produces nicotinamide.
Yeah, so there's a lot of scientific with that. I'm not saying go start smoking. That is not what we're saying at all. But some of the best singers were. Yeah. So there's so much to that you were getting into.
Yeah, and now I've found out that certain organic, nice herbal forms of nicotine exist in tons of other food. We just think it exists in tobacco. It's like caffeine. People say, I don't do caffeine. You ever do iceberg lettuce? Iceberg lettuce. Yeah, it's got caffeine in it. No, it does.
Yeah, God made it all.
Yeah. It's just how you abuse it,
It is, and the abuse of it and what you're doing and the forms that you're taking it in. They're all actually now saying that because they figured this out with COVID, a lot of smokers didn't die. So there was something in the nicotine that helped. Yet again, we're not promoting smoking, but there's elements of these other things that we're discovering.
Especially marbles. They have 500 addictive ingredients made by man. They're just
That's
terrible.
The other side of it.
And you don't want to breathe smoke.
No.
That's the thing.
No.
So there's a difference between that. And then again, concentrated like tobacco, chewing tobacco causes cancer in the mouth and all that stuff.
And a ton of that's additives and things that they do too with it.
Absolutely.
But there we go, chasing a rabbit.
Yeah.
It's squirrel.
It's a good rabbit.
They do.
See more of the jungle,
Hey guys, I want to take just a second and let you know about a very neat tour that we have scheduled for later this year called the Hits and Heritage Tour. It's Gold City along with our friends the Hoppers and the fantastic Joseph Habedank. It's going to be a great night and tour of incredible songs. It's called Hits and Heritage for a reason. We are staging the hits of all the songs from, well, not all, it'll take forever for us to do that, but the Gold City songs that you all know so well, the Hopper songs that you know so well, the Joseph Habedank songs that you know so well, not just from Joseph's solo career, but also from his career with the Perrys and singing with other groups. Joseph has had a very long career in this industry. You're going to love this tour. So be watching for the cities that we'll be coming to, and we hope to see you there. So you eventually came up with Singing Success, the original program. That's how I found you. I think it was 03. 02, 03, somewhere around there. You had not been, a couple of years you had been out there.
1998.
You figured out search engine optimization pretty early on. I was at work one night. I worked second shift. I was at work one night, and I typed in because I was obsessed with fixing my voice. I remember telling my mom when I was like 17 or 18 years old, and it was the Gaither Vocal Band Southern Classics album he came out, and it was an incredible album. But Michael English was doing a lot of things. He did. I don't think he knew exactly what he was doing, but he had an incredible, cool voice, and he could sing super high, full out, super high. So I remember telling my mom, I can do this in a light, heady, like I said, falsetto. It's not what it was. I can do this, but it's not the same sound as my chest voice. So I became obsessed with trying to find that. So I typed in one night vocal instruction programs, bam, Singing Success. And the thing that right there on the main page, increase your vocal range by an octave or your money back. Well, I didn't have much money. So I think it was $1.99. So I'm clicking. So at that time I was singing with a buddy of mine. I called him. I said, hey, I just found this program. It's systematic. It says you work through the CDs 1 through 12, and it'll build your voice, and it says it'll increase your range. I didn't think I needed an octave.
Yeah.
I wanted a couple of notes.
Yeah.
So, but if I could get an octave, if he's saying an octave, I bet I can get a couple of notes. So that's all I wanted. So I said it's $200. You want to split it? He said, yeah. Well, we get it and start working with it. Well, he fizzled out like I knew he would. So I got it and worked it every day.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, exactly. I worked it every day. So then an opportunity came along with Gary Jones. Our crowd knows Gary very well.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity to go sing professionally, which is what I'd always wanted to do with Gary. So I got that job, and when I took that program out on the road to warm up with and to work with before we would sing, and the tenor that was with us at that time said, hey, why don't we just go to him? And at that time, yet again, I think you were $150 an hour at that time, and this was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was an exorbitant amount of money to me.
Inflation.
Yeah,
more
it's
now.
a lot more now.
Yeah.
But every dollar is so well worth it. Anthony said, I think if he's got a deal, if you buy 10 hours, you get it for $100 an hour. He said, can you come up with $500? So at that time, I'm just telling you this, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
But we got per diem money cash. Well, I always brought my food with me, and I'd throw my per diem money in the suitcase. So at the end of the, I'd have $100 extra or two. So I saved that money cash.
Wow.
When I came in, I handed you $500 cash.
Thank you.
And
It was well spent.
And that's how this started, this journey with us. And it transformed my voice. I remember the second lesson you stopped, and I thought I thought it was over. So you stopped. First lesson, I honestly walked out going, what am I doing? I don't know what I got here this time, because we had repeated a lot of stuff on the course, and we didn't do a lot of singing. You were figuring my voice out.
Yeah.
You were analyzing.
Yeah.
At that time.
Scales.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's what we do.
Scales.
So the second time, we were about 10 minutes into the session, and you stopped. I don't know if you remember this. You just stopped. You said, how many sessions did you pay for? I said, well, me and Anthony split 10, so I've got 5. This is my second one. He said, your second one. So you got 3 left. I said, yeah. And he said, okay. So you went in, and anyway, long story short, you said, I want to work with you. I just want to work with you. We'll figure things out after this, but I want to work with you. And it started a relationship that has me singing on your programs, achieving things vocally that I never dreamed possible. I went on after that. I came off the road with Mercy's Mark, but we kept working. So usually once a month I would come up, and we would work, and my range went
Through the roof. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was so where I was wanting to be able to. I told you I want to be able to hit I wanted to be in that B flat, B C range. I wanted to be able to hit it with fullness and a great tone, and it sound like my lower register. And you said, well, that's easy. We'll do that. When you're right, we did that in about 5 or 6 lessons. But then I think it was in here, I think, because you were teaching actually in this room at one time. And we were working on something. It was Michael Bolton singing Dock of the Bay. No, it was When a Man Needs a Woman. Well, Man Loves a Woman. Yeah, and it was baby, baby, baby. That at the end, and I went up and hit the F, I think.
Yeah.
Full out.
Yeah, F above high
and
C.
I thought you were going to knock a hole in that wall.
Yeah.
Because you jumped up and just started pounding the walls.
Like,
But what was so funny about it, because I still got it on video, what's so funny about it, it wasn't a lot of effort.
No.
It was,
It's
I mean,
all a trick.
I was laying in, but you had conditioned my voice to that point where we're another, at least nearly a full octave up from where we were.
Plus the low notes.
Plus all the low notes.
2 extra octaves altogether, yeah.
So it was crazy what had happened with just that initial program and then working with you. And then since then, you mastering the mix, Singing Success 360, mastering vibrato, all the mastering harmonies, all the things that products that you've created since that time is a bit mind blowing.
But you know how I do these things, all these programs? I'm just too ignorant to know any better.
Well,
because I bite off more than I chew.
Yeah.
I don't like. I like this new Chopin piece. I'll show you when we get up there.
Yeah.
That I'm working on. It's 2.5 years into it, and
Yeah.
I'm finally facing the hardest part. Like, I have to pay this so
Did I say obsessive?
Yeah. 2.5 years, one piece of music. All the other pieces I've learned, the first 3 nocturnes I learned by Chopin, 6 to 8 months, 10 months, around there.
But that's you.
But this one,
that's how you
the
are.
B major one, don't even get me started on that. That's almost 3 years. And
Yeah.
the mid section of that, if you see the left hand, you'll be like, nope, I don't even want to. That hurts to watch you play. But I can play the left hand, but I can't put them together.
So even what?
But it's because I don't know any better. I wouldn't try it if I knew
Right.
better.
5-6 years ago, you weren't a great
No, I was just like
you could
chords
play things
and
out.
throw
Like
up a
when we
little-
would work on songs, you would try to work through stuff, and I was just stop playing and let me sing.
Yeah. Don't play.
But now it's ridiculous what you do. So if there's anything that you're dreaming of doing, the other thing is age is not a factor anymore. Age is not a factor anymore. We used to think that we had to do these things as kids and develop all this. Age is not a factor anymore. I'll say it again.
Huh.
If you have a passion to do something, whether it's singing, playing piano, whatever it is, writing books, whatever it is, you can do it if you put your mind to it. And you are proof to me that that's the case.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I just finished a blog talking about that, about the ageism. People think, oh, I'm too old, I don't want to sing. Like, what are you gonna do then? Just sit on your porch until you die? On a rocking chair, I'm getting old, and
I used to love singing.
Wait for that heart to stop. No, do something. Go do something. Enjoy your life. Go fishing. Go jogging. Go running. If
Go
you got
singing.
legs,
Go singing.
and do a scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You sing to the radio ever? I mean, my dad sings to the radio.
Well,
he never had a lesson with me. But
the other side of it is just because what you just said, go jogging, whatever it is, go fishing, whatever. There's muscles, there's physical attributes that you have to do that. Well, you also have to have that with the voice.
That's right.
These are muscles. This is all made up of tissue and muscle. I mean, that's what the vocal cords are. And then your physical body plays into you singing too. It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Don't lay down and die. Your voice slows down. Your voice quits working like it used to work when you were young because those muscles aren't being used anymore.
Mm-hmm. Imagine, I had a buddy of mine who always says, nope, you can't teach me to sing. I can't sing. But I hear him on the radio. He goes, my baby, I said, you talk loud, but you ain't afraid to sing. Just go, Mom. And he goes, no. Jordan knows him. What's up, Ben? Rose. I just said your name, Ben. I don't care.
Hey, Ben.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's a big jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
He's too tough. He's got too much pride to have that ego in the good sense of pride.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That was
if
funny.
I just
Too
told him, I
much
said,
too much pride to have the ego.
that ego,
like
I know
you
it's
did that.
bizarre. If he goes, he goes, you're hitting the note. Now go, mama. I go, mama. Oh, that's awful. No, it's not.
No.
You're doing it. But in your mind,
Yeah.
you've already decided you can't, so you won't. You won't because you've decided you can't. And what's happening is if you can talk, you can sing. Like an example, I knew another mother who says she was coming to her daughter's lessons all the time. She goes, oh, sometimes I wish I could sing. I said, you want to go to your grave thinking that? Because you will, I promise you. And they'll point to your grave and say, one thing about old Kathy, she sure wishes she could sing.
She spent a lot of time wishing she could sing.
Yep. And so I said, let me, no, just come over here. And she goes, na, 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 na. And then she went, her eyes filled up with tears. She goes, I didn't know I could do that. I said, yeah, you probably don't know you can do a pirouette either.
Yeah, you probably never tried.
You probably never tried a pirouette in your life, right?
No, I'm from Alabama, buddy.
You don't do that
there.
But if you paid him $1,000 to do it, and he'd like, let's see, what do you do here? Throw my arms, spin around, okay?
Might get a better deal than that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, $100. You know about
Times are hard, you know.
you know about the playwright George Bernard Shaw, and he's having this might be a little off color, but I think people can accept it. He's sitting there with the Queen of England, and he says, "Madam," she goes, "You mean Your Highness?" He goes, "No, Madam. Oh. Suppose I was to offer you some money to sleep with me," and she goes, "Why? That's preposterous. Why would you talk to Your Highness that way?" And he goes, "How about a billion British pounds?" And back then that would be like 20 billion, at least, because that was a long time ago. And she goes, "Well, for 20 billion pounds, one might consider, you know." And then he goes, "How about 10 US bucks?" And then she goes, "What do you take me for?" And he goes, "We've already established that. Now wow. I'm just bargaining for a better price."
Wow. Yeah, for real.
Already established that. So when we joke around and people have their price. But let me segue that into, like, when I was saying, people say, "Well, I can't do that. If I pay him $1,000 or $100, he might learn to do a pirouette." If you were 80 and you kind of talk like this, you say, "I don't have much of a voice." Okay, can you say "ba"? They go "ba." Now say it harder, "ba." They go "ba," because this is what I did with this old guy. "Ba, ba, ba." He goes "ba, ba, ba," and he had a beautiful voice. He goes "ba." Wow, I've never been able to do that. Wow. Just now I'm condensing about 20 minutes of session. But it suddenly had this nice tone quality and was singing some Frank Sinatra and sounded really good. Said, if you, as a 60, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old person, some psychotic billionaire, and this is kind of a weird way to think about it, but it gets your mind thinking. Said, "Oh, I hear your granddaughter needs a new kidney. I'll buy one if you sing for me, and you sing really well. I'll pay for all your voice lessons. You have 3 months.
Wow.
You're gonna sing your butt off."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, you impress me, and I'll buy that, and also I'll buy you a new house too. I got money. I can call it a sickness, but I just want to see you do something well." And then people say, "Well, we don't really warm up going to church." Why not? I don't really. You're singing for the King of Kings, and you go, and you don't warm up.
Yeah.
If you were singing for the Queen of England, you would warm up. You would take a lot of lessons. You would say, "I'm going to sing for the Queen."
If you're just singing in the choir for the Queen, you're going to be doing that. If you're just singing in the audience, you're probably going to be doing that.
Yeah.
You're not going to walk in unprepared with.
No. But
we'll do that for the King of Kings.
But a lot of people don't believe they're worshiping.
Right.
Because they would sing differently.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, sometimes you hear people in there worshiping, and they're really, like I say, in love with their own voice instead of being with a group, and they're making tons of runs where they don't need to be. And like, good. They're hoping the person next to them, especially in Nashville, it's true. They're hoping the person next to them is in the music industry and hears them. It's true. So the guy would go,
especially here, yeah.
There was that song. You
think I'm going to get this?
Remember the one of God sent His Son.
Oh, because He lives, yeah.
Yeah, because He lives. Yeah. And he's going, because He lives.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, literally worse than that.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you, son.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody in the music industry looking for you.
No.
You have to put music out, and you have to do it in a way that you're not trying to impress, you're trying to express. If you're trying to impress, you're always saying,
it won't work.
Let me see. And I coined this term with Keith Urban in a lesson in 1999. When I first moved here in 98, after I released the program, 99, 2000, 2001 is when I worked with Keith. And it was just, we both kind of coined this phrase, is to say, I used to be a competitive singer, always trying to find a song to show off my voice. Mm-hmm. Then I became an artist, always trying to find my voice to show off a song.
There you go.
If your voice shows off God, great, right motive. But if God is there to help you show off, it's distasteful. You've heard singers like that.
Yeah.
This guy, he's going, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, tenor in love with your own voice, man.
Well, the other side of that
Stop.
is you can tell the ones that are authentic.
Yeah.
When those runs and those trills come out,
Yeah.
that's their that's
it's
them.
expression.
That's who they are.
I want to make God great instead
and you
of
feel something from it.
yeah, and there's a believability. And
There is, and then there's times that it's manufactured, and
Yeah.
all it does is turn you. You don't hear what they're saying. You don't. All you see is what they're trying to do.
Well, that's why sometimes like people who've experienced so much brokenness. I mean, Chris Tomlin doesn't have a lot of voice,
Yeah,
but man, he just
it's the emotion.
when he wrote "How Great Is Our God"
Yeah.
with my buddy Ed Cash, and Ed Cash told that story to us. He said, "I was a cokehead. I was a reformed drug addict,
Wow.
you know, and I was telling that to Chris." And we're just like talking. We're just talking. We weren't
Yeah.
writing. I was going to produce him, but we were just talking. And he goes, "Man, how great is our God?" And he goes, "How great is our God?" And it's dun 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 dun.
It's kind of very simple. It's very
C-A-F-G.
Oh, yeah.
C-A-F-G. The simplest,
we all played
dumbest.
as a child.
Yeah, it's the heart and soul chord progression. Yeah, it's that. It's heart and soul chord progression.
Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 da. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or Stand By Me. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Very simple.
1 6 4 5. That chord progression all day long. What a great song.
Yeah.
Having a conversation, and so he sings it remembering how they wrote it, and he sings it still like he just wrote it yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it's not just what does the song mean, what does it song mean to you every day you sing it. And if you can always get back to this, that music has meaning, you'll always give a great performance.
Yeah.
And even when your voice is jacked up, man, you and I have talked about some,
Oh.
like our
Mine's been jacked up a lot the
homeboy
past
that
year.
funny at Full Circle, you were working be still and know that I am
Frey,
God.
yeah.
You know, with that dude, the Frey, and now I'm teaching him. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sure you know
crazy.
that. It's just cool. Like I told him, man, I have people sing your songs.
But what a song too.
yeah, what a song. But
Oh.
he just, and when you talk about a believable singer, homeboy just can sing,
You can
man.
hear it in his voice.
Yeah,
On the
when-
recording, you can hear it in his voice.
Oh yeah, he says when he sings it, so he'd get a new part of his voice. Oh, what have I done? He's like, what have I done? Oh, okay, let's do it now. His face is just like filled with passion, filled
Yeah.
with excitement and joy. He's like a little kid.
Yeah.
He's a grown-up little kid who sings in a way that I'm sure I've never seen him live, but I'm sure if I did, I'd be like, I can't take my eyes off this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, are there better voices? Of course, better voice than all of us in this room.
Well, he's not a big voice. It's at least what I'm hearing on that recording.
It's just cool.
But it's so much emotion.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
heard Brandy played that song for me, and then I think I brought that song to you.
Yeah, you did.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
was
the first
just
time I heard
rare
it.
that I ever bring you a song.
Yeah.
But she had played that for me, and it just got me right out of the gate. But then
Mm-hmm.
that day we had been working on Vincero. Yeah.
Pavarotti.
Yeah, that one.
Nessun Dorma.
Ness and Dorma. And then you said, hang on, stop. So let's work on this. So you took me into that. Be still and know that I'm with you. Be
Yes.
still and know that I am here.
Yes.
We spent 15 minutes on that.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes. You said, now go back to do Vincero. And you go back. And when I did it, it was 2 to 3 times bigger than what I was doing before. And it was effortless because it unlocked a different part of my voice that I never used. So there's so much to singing and so much to the voice that people just don't understand. So we could talk for days, and we will do this again. We're going to try to do this, and I want to get more into the Brett Manning story too. But we're going to try to do this once a month, and I'll be the issue because getting to Nashville is about 3 hours for me, and for some reason I don't want to leave Alabama at times. But
I'll have to come out there maybe.
well, Jackson said he had a place on the lake, so we're going to meet at his place.
See you, Jackson.
Smith Lake. Jackson's behind the camera, and he's smiling right now.
Yeah. Some
But
bass.
anyway, we're going to try to do this monthly and do a video series. You're going to find all the information and the links below to Brett Manning Studios, Singing Success, all the information that you would need. His programs are streamable. You can sign up and actually have access to all of his programs, have access to his coaches, daily coaching that's on the Facebook. If you go VIP, that's on the Facebook side of things. There's just so much there. If you have a passion for singing, you need to be doing this. But brother, I love you.
I love you, brother.
You are an inspiration to me, and I tell the whole world that I am around and in about Brett Manning. So if you need vocal help, find Brett Manning Studios, find Brett, any of his associates, and we'll see you again soon.
See you. That was a good wrap up. Yeah.
That is 54 minutes of us not even getting anywhere yet. So.
Yeah, that's good.